One, the stalker on the platform. I've never shared this publicly before, but it's haunted me for years now. It was a Wednesday night in Chicago, and I had just finished a brutally long shift at work. I was exhausted, running on fumes, and my head was pounding. I took the red line home, same route, same time. I'd done it 100 times before. It was late enough that the platform was nearly empty, except for a couple across the way and a guy listening to music with his eyes closed. You ever feel someone watching you, like not casual glancing but locked on you like your prey? That's what this felt like. Then I noticed him. He was standing at the far end of the platform. Still. Completely still. Just watching me. He didn't flinch, didn't look away. I tried not to make eye contact and moved further down toward the brighter end of the platform where I knew the security cameras were aimed. When I looked back a few seconds later, he was gone. Just gone. I figured maybe he'd left, or my mind was playing tricks on me from being overworked. The train arrived and I got in. I sat down, thinking I could finally relax. Until a few stops later, I looked up and there he was. Sitting 3 seats away. Same guy, staring. No expression. I didn't see him get on. Didn't hear the doors open. Nothing. That's when the pit formed in my stomach. I moved to another car, waited. Tried to act normal. He followed. I moved again, and again. Every time, he showed up. Not immediately, but always within a few minutes. It was like he knew exactly where I'd be. I tried calling a friend, but the second I hit dial, my phone glitched. The screen went black, and then came back with 0 signal. Full battery, no service. Now I was panicking. I pretended to check my messages and stood near the exit, waiting for the doors to open at the next stop. As soon as they did, I ran. I figured if I moved fast enough, I could get out and find help. But this station was dead. The lights flickered, and the air was heavy like something was pressing down on me. I ran to the top of the stairs, only to find the gate locked. No staff, no security, just silence. And then I heard footsteps. Slow, measured, echoing up behind me. I turned. He was at the bottom of the stairs. That same blank stare. Then, he smiled, and said my name. I hadn't told anyone my name. I never spoke. Not a word. So how the hell did he know? I don't remember deciding to run. I took off down a maintenance corridor and found a door propped open by a broken mop handle. Slipped in, closed it. Total darkness. The kind that swallows you whole. I sat with my back pressed against the cold metal door, trying to slow my breathing. Then came the footsteps. Closer. Right outside. And then to knocks. Precise. Hollow. Not rushed. Just certain. I stayed like that for hours, or maybe minutes, I don't know. The silence became unbearable, like it was filling my ears. Eventually, a flashlight beam woke me up. A transit officer had found me, curled in a ball behind that door. I was shaking so badly I couldn't speak. They took me to the station, sat me down. That's when a detective showed me a photo. "Is this the guy who followed you?" I nodded. The detective stared for a long time, then said, "He's wanted for the murder of 3 women. We've been tracking him for over a year." I was in shock. Didn't sleep for days. Changed my entire commute. Started using ride shares, switched shifts, but I still felt watched. A week later, I came home and found an envelope on my kitchen table. No return address. No name inside was a single sheet of paper. Still close. I moved 2 months later, but I still check my locks twice. Every night. Because I know what still close really means. 2. The last ride during my second year of college, I picked up a job doing field checks for aging metro infrastructure. It wasn't glamorous. Mostly long drives, dead spots on the radio, and crawling through old cars covered in but the pay was solid. This one assignment took me out near the edge of the city, a place nobody really talks about, an abandoned lot where they dumped old subway cars no longer in service. They were rusted, overgrown, and the whole area felt like it had been forgotten. I was logging car numbers, taking pictures, and just trying to get it over with when I noticed something strange. One of the cars looked newer, not clean, but more intact than the others. I walked over, and through the dirty window, I saw someone sitting inside. They weren't moving. I called out, no answer. I figured it was a squatter, so I climbed in carefully. The air hit me. Immediately it was freezing, way colder than outside. The car was empty. I turned to leave and then knock, knock, knock. from under the floor. It wasn't loud, but it didn't have to be. It was too deliberate, like whatever was under there wanted me to hear it. Another knock, closer this time. I didn't even turn to look. I just ran, because I knew if I looked back, something might be looking back at me. I got out, fast, ran back to the truck and slammed the door shut. My heart was pounding so hard I couldn't catch my breath. I didn't sleep that night, but I went back the next morning with 2 guys from the site team. I needed to know I wasn't going crazy. Same car, same spot, but it was clean, dry, warm, no signs anyone had ever been there. One of the guys walked through and joked it smelled like fresh paint. I didn't laugh. Then I noticed it, a smear of oil on my boot from the ceiling. That night, at the bar, one of the guys pulled me aside. He said when he went back to get his toolbox, he heard it too. 3 knocks. I left the job 2 weeks later. I still can't explain it. I don't tell people the story anymore, but sometimes, when the house is quiet and the heating kicks off, I swear I hear it under the floorboards. 3 knocks, always spaced the same way, like it's waiting for me to answer. 3. Beneath the city, when I was really into urban exploring, my buddy Hiro found this post on an old Japanese forum about a sealed station outside Tokyo. It wasn't on any map. They called it the Ghost Stop. We were obsessed with the idea. Viro gold if we could find it. So we did. We found an old service gate behind a warehouse, busted the rusted padlock, and slipped inside. The air was damp. The deeper we went, the colder it got. It felt like the air hadn't moved in decades. There's something about silence in a place meant to be loud. A platform should echo, breathe, but this one just absorbed sound. Eventually, we hit the platform. There were no lights, just the occasional flicker from our headlamps bouncing off rusted metal signs. The station name had been scratched out so hard you could see the bare concrete. Then Hiro grabbed my arm. He pointed to the tunnel entrance. There was someone standing there. We froze. I whispered but got no response. The figure stepped backward into the tunnel, and we followed, because we were stupid. The tunnel forked, narrowed, the walls got wet, the ground slick. That's when we heard it, something dragging. We turned back, but Hiro was gone. Gone, like he was never there to begin with. No scream, no sound, just a rasta nothing. Just silence. I ran until I couldn't breathe. Security later told me the entire section had been closed since the 80s. There was no access, no personnel. 2 weeks later, I got a package. No return address. Hiro's backpack. Inside was his audio recorder. 1 file, shuffling, dragging. Then, his voice. Don't come back. It's not human. I don't think I'll make it. Then a voice not his. You shouldn't have followed. And then, breathing. Too close. I never explored again. Because what we found that night, it's still in those tunnels, and it remembers who followed. For the man in the reflection. This happened when I was 19 and working part-time at a bookstore that closed late. I usually caught the last train home, sometimes even the final car, just to avoid the few drunk stragglers. One night I got into a nearly empty train, just me and a woman with headphones at the far end. I sat next to the window, watching the blur of tunnel lights pass. That's when I noticed something weird in the reflection. There was a man standing behind me, but when I turned to nothing, just empty seats. I looked back at the glass. There he was again. Pale face, no eyes, just standing there, breathing slowly. I turned again, still nothing. The woman at the end took off her headphones and made eye contact with me. Her face dropped. She stood up, moved toward me, and whispered, "Get off." I didn't hesitate. We jumped out at the next station. I was shaken. She said she saw him too, but only in the glass. I never saw her again. I don't take the last train anymore, but every now and then, in windows or mirrors, I swear I still see him. And every time, he's a little closer. 5. Maintenance, level 3. I used to do overnight cleaning for a subway system in a major city. Most people think trains stop running at midnight, but some keep going just on different routes. One night I was told to check out maintenance level 3. I'd never heard of it. The elevator didn't even have a labeled button for it. The operator used a key and warned me, "Don't stay too long." The doors opened to silence. No machines humming, no echoes, just a long hallway with pipes overhead and flickering lights. I started walking. Everything felt off. The temperature dropped. I could see my breath. Then I saw footprints, bare feet, leading deeper. Against every instinct, I followed. At the very end, There was a break room. I stepped in. Lights flickered on. Every locker was open. Inside each one an old uniform and a name tag. Each tag had my name on it. I ran. I didn't care how. I didn't wait for the elevator. I didn't speak to anyone. I quit the next morning. But last week I got a letter. Just a photo of me standing in that hallway. And I was barefoot.